I learned a lot. I'm very grateful for your time, and your illustrations are really interesting. I'm learning.
One of the good things about what I do is every day I have beautiful women walk up to me and want to have pictures taken with me and maybe even give me a hug or more. And this is one of them. And beyond that, she wanted to do an interview with me. She worked for NPR, which and she said she was unbiased, but we know there's no such thing as an unbiased reporter. And some of her bias seeps out in this. But overall, she was very, very good. She was very fair. And so I know this interview will never be aired on NPR. So I didn't try to water it down any because, basically I was probably speaking to her. And I hope I reached her. Hope I got something across to her. I know I said some things to her that she's never heard before, so it's not surprising working for NPR. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one. I say it was certainly a good one. I'm not going to stay too long on this because it's a long video. And of course, you do what you do, hit all the appropriate buttons and go to my shop and get something. I'm wearing one of my shirts right now, as you can see. They laugh, which is a good one, probably appropriate for this being NPR. So, go get yourself a t-shirt or sweatshirt and help me out. Subscribe, star, all this stuff. I don't want to keep you. All right, let's get to this one. I will catch you on the other side.
And I just was wondering if you would talk to me about your stand. What's going on here?
Sure. Now, who are you covering it for?
NPR.
NPR? Oh, Lord. NPR. Good old NPR.
We're not partisan. I'm just interested in what you're doing.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm not partisan. I'm just here to just cover stuff.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
May I use your chair very quickly?
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. I want to make sure my camera's on for this one.
Did I touch your pussy there, huh?
It's the first one I've touched my entire life, so.
I see that. I can see that.
I wouldn't brag about that.
It's all right, I'm saving myself until marriage.
Okay, good man.
That's what they all
Hey, did
say.
you guys grab yourself a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton?
Thank you.
Yes.
Always works.
On the back is a YouTube channel. You want to check that out. You see some of my canos out here. You also can get a lot of my designs on apparel. Guaranteed to get you kicked out of school.
Get my student loans paid for card from Bernie as well.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it. I just want to know what you're doing and what you've got to say. 'Cause it seems like you've got a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm a political satirical cartoonist by
You are?
training.
I'm my favorite. New Yorker's my favorite thing to read. The cartoons really are my favorite. Do you ever work for them?
No. But
You're a satirist. Fantastic.
Yeah, this is my work.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, Pizzagate. I'm from D.C. That was from my city.
Yeah.
Right down the street from me, actually. Would you mind taking this?
Oh, great.
Great.
Yeah.
Would you hold it a little closer to your mouth?
Sure.
Cool. All right, so just tell me where I am, what today is, who you are, and sort of what am I looking at?
This is Lundi Gras. The day before Mardi Gras. We are at the famous French market.
We are, and what are you wearing?
I am wearing an Uncle Sam outfit.
He's top to bottom, head to toe, red, white, and blue. And he's had an amazing booth here. And will you tell me what it's about?
Sure, it's political satirical art.
Okay, and is it satirical?
Well, it's a lot of different things. I mean, it's whatever happens to be. It might be current events. It might be certain issues that I deem important, and it's how I express myself.
It's very expressive, and it's very creative.
Well, thank you.
So, to be more specific, there's like a lot of pro-Trump stuff. Seems like.
Yeah.
A lot of anti-Hillary Clinton stuff.
Yes.
Sort of bringing up a lot of internet controversies, a lot of stuff about vaccines, Pizzagate, sort of global warming maybe is not a thing kind of stuff.
9/11.
Oh, 9/11 wasn't a thing?
Oh, 9/11, I have a poster on the side that brings up 9/11.
Got it.
One of my main...
And what about 9/11 do you want to tell people?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm calling into NPR several times. They kind of like poo-pooed me because of what I said about it, bringing up, architects and engineers to 9/11 truth. The fact that nanothermite was found in the debris, what brought down building number 7.
So what is the overarching point of your argument that 9/11, what happened?
It was an inside job.
Okay, so that means that it's an inside job from the government.
Well, I wouldn't say the government's a monolithic thing. I mean, we're talking about elements within the government, and it wasn't just our government or our, elements within other governments. It's elements within other governments. Basically, it's a cabal of psychopaths and sociopaths, then different agencies and conglomerates that own our governments, actually, because our government's
George Bush
really...
and Cheney, all those guys were in on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing. Okay, and so why do you think now is it important to let people know that? What's sort of like the heart that you're trying to tell people?
Well, that if there is a deep state, that our governments really are the things that control us. Or we don't even control our governments. It is the shadow governments. It is the deep state. The Council on Foreign Relations, the Pilgrim Society, the Club of Rome. So we can look at these secret and semi-secret societies that are basically ruled by the bloodlines that have existed for the past 1,500 years or more, that have ruthlessly grabbed a hold of the resources of the world and control most of the media. Even NPR takes government funding. And if anything that takes government funding, of course, is going to be influenced by that. So these things are the ones that gain perception. They're the ones that put out perception. And perception is everything. If you can control perception, you can control people. You control people, then you can put them wherever you want. And if you look at agencies like the NP or the UN, and Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. These are agendas to go ahead and put us under the control of a world tyranny by the year 2030, using things like the phony global warming, climate change deal. I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives in 1970 with Professor Ron Cohn, and studied with scientists the environment for 3 years. We were aware that our program would be infiltrated by government agents to take what we were finding out so they could use it for their own political agenda. If you look at a guy named Maurice Strong, who was a political operative for the major elites, he took that ecology program and came up with global warming. And the fact that if you made CO2 the boogeyman, you could blame people because, we produce CO2, we breathe it out. So we become the enemy. So if you can control the energy usage, you can blame people that, you're the problem, you're creating CO2. Then you can control their energy usage. Again, control. If you can control energy usage, you control the people. So if you control the media, you control their energy usage. Then you can start putting people in city-states. And once you put them in city-states, you gain more control. That's why most cities are liberal areas. Hence, that's why a lot of liberals are trying to go ahead and do away with the electoral college, because, they want just these small city-states, or large city-states, as it were, to go ahead and be able, through the popular vote, to be able to control everything and do away with the electoral college and silence the voice of what would be called the flyover states. Again, control, keep us out of the rural areas, destroy the farmers. So, because it all comes down to what Yang basically was bringing up, was AI, robotic technology. I actually talked to a Harvard professor out here about 2 years ago, and I asked him, what would AI robotic technology do to us in about 10 years? And he said, well, about 50% of the people you see walking around us here will be out of work. I says, what are we going to do with all these out of work people? He said, without missing a beat, in the past, we've killed you. Henry Kissinger called us the useless future food eaters. So the whole idea is to go ahead and put us under the thumb of a worldwide tyranny by the year 2030, using the phony global warming, climate change, sustainability agenda to do that.
Huh, I've never heard it said like that. Okay. May I ask you how Trump fits into what you think the solution is?
Well, he's a stepping stone in the right direction. In other words, he's a nationalist, so he's a stepping stone. He's not for global, government. So he's not for, open borders. He's not for the, allowing, because it's about watering down cultures. You open up borders and then, you wind up just allowing anybody to flow anywhere or do anything. You lower everything down to the lowest common denominator. You're creating chaos. You're allowing people to come in that will create chaos. It's called problem, reaction, solution. The elites have brought this up. It's an agenda where you create the problem. You open up the borders, you allow people to come in, create chaos. That's the reaction. Now you have the reaction, then they come in with the solution, which is, we're going to come in and save the day. That's where they bring in the UN Army and tyranny. So we're going to come in and make everything safe for you again. Just everybody walk into these FEMA camps, get into these little city-states, and we'll take care of you. Just eat the GMO food, take the vaccines, and die quietly. Yeah.
So when you think about how your family came for a better life, and we're offered the promises of America, which is what we are basically founded for and by, was a safe place for people to seek refuge and make their dreams come true. Mm-hmm. How do you think that sort of fits into your ideas of closing down borders and what that means for who we are as Americans?
That was then, this is now. Back then, we needed immigrants. We needed people to come in. We were a growing country.
We still need immigrants. We need immigrants for so many things, for agriculture and
that takes up 3% of what we're doing. And again, legal immigration is fine. I'm not against legal immigration. Having open borders is a whole nother concept. When you just allow people to flow in without knowing who they are, what kind of diseases they're carrying, what their ideology is, then you're creating a lot of chaos. Having controlled immigration is fine. There's no problem with that.
It's very, very difficult to emigrate here legally. They make it almost impossible for anyone to live the American dream. It's just the truth.
Beg your pardon?
It's very, very difficult for people to legally make it into this country. The Trump administration especially has made it almost impossible for legal immigration. I mean, the way they've basically shut down the borders entirely. Almost.
Well, we need, but there have been times in history we've completely shut down the borders. So this isn't the first time in history that anything like this has even come close to being happening.
You're worried about like terrorists and rapists and what? What are you worried about? What do you think the immigrants are
Again, if we go back to the agenda of the elites to create total chaos, if you allow people to completely flow in without any checks or balances on them at all, you're going to create a class of cultures. Brzezinski wrote about this, called The Class of Cultures. Read the book. And in it, he talks about creating this problem, reaction, solution so they could come in as the saviors. It is their goal to
Who's
go...
they?
Again, we go back to what I originally said.
The elites.
Thank you. The bankers, the bloodlines, the people have been controlling things for a long, long time.
Trump is an elite, comes from...
Oh, please. Trump is a pimple on the ass of a gnat compared to the people we're talking about.
So we're talking
about
like the Mellons, like the
yeah, we're talking about the Mellons, the Rothschilds, the Chiefs.
No, but he comes from millionaire.
He's a working man. He worked. He actually get down there. I've talked to at least maybe 4 dozen people that have worked with him, for him, you name it, have contact with him. He gets down there. He talks to the working men. I give you several examples. I mean, one of the groundskeepers, he came out, he went to talk to all the groundskeepers, came up to the foreman.
I mean, there's many studies that show that he does not only does not pay his workers, he also has a ton of illegal immigrants working in his golf courses. You know that, right?
Again, if you have a vast empire, that he has, he can't micromanage everything. There's going to be times, he's been sued a lot of times. Fine, what guy has it that doesn't have a lot of things? He's been bankrupt. What guy hasn't gone bankrupt when you have a lot of businesses? Sometimes you let a business go bankrupt for tax purposes. So there are different things, but blaming these things on him, like making him the boogeyman. You got to remember, there's a reason everybody was against him. You judge people a lot of time by their enemies. I mean, when you have your own party against you, when you have the entire media against you, when you have the internet against you, when you have everybody against you, you must be doing something right. Because again, who controls everything? Let's go back to who controls everything.
The elites.
Thank you.
But that's not Trump. Trump is not elite.
Well, why are they fighting him? Why are they trying so hard to get him out?
Do you feel good about the way that he talks about people with disabilities, people with...
what? How does he talk about people with disabilities?
You've never seen him constantly mock people with disabilities?
No, never.
I mean, I don't have a particular... My thing about Trump is I worry that our nation is becoming xenophobic and very similar to Germany before the Holocaust.
No, the only people that are bringing that up is the left. The left is completely racist. They're the ones that always bring up race. Trump is the first guy to go ahead and recognize the LGBT community. He's the first president to ever do that. But no one ever mentions that. They don't ever bring it up. So, I mean, what about the black woman they found living in Trump Tower? Instead of kicking her out, Trump put her entire family up for 2 years, fed them 3 times a day until she got on her feet. Does anybody ever mention that? What about the people I've talked to where he's helped out? I'll give you I talked to 2 of his Secret Service agents who also protected Clinton. And I asked him, well, what was the difference between the two? And he says, well, to be polite, Clinton barely tolerated us. Trump, the first day, called us into the office separately, sat us down, and asked us, do you have any problems that I can help you with? Because I want you concentrating on your job. He greets us every day, asks how we're doing. I mean, he talks to us like we're people.
It's amazing.
I've talked, again, at least 4 dozen people that have had personal contact with him. I have never heard anybody say one single thing that's ever, from a little old lady that's sitting at the casino playing blackjack. He comes in with his crowd, sits down next to her and says, how you doing? Has a conversation with her. She goes, well, to tell you the truth, I really stayed at the other hotel over there because they give me more points. She goes home. She got 2 weeks to stay at the Trump Towers, and he gave her a bunch of chips to play with. The guy goes out of his way to be nice to people.
Okay, I've never heard these stories. I guess I just...
Because you're listening again to whom? You're listening to the skewed left-wing media.
Well, I listen to many forms of media. So
and they're all owned by whom?
Well, I mean, that's neither here nor there. My other question is, why are you still going after Hillary? It seems like a moot point at this point, right?
I don't think so. She's still very much in control. I mean, her dynasty is a criminal cabal that's always been there. Yeah, she's very much still in control. I mean, look, they're even talking about having her run as, VP, someone picking her as VP. I mean, she's even said, I still might thinking about running. The woman's a complete, I mean, she's a criminal that deserves to be in jail. And that's one of the things, if there's anything I got to pick on Trump about, is the fact that I don't trust Attorney General Barr. I mean, Attorney General Barr's father introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Dalton College, where he started the pedophile ring with his get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton. With the CIA. So that whole blackmail ring with the CIA and Jeffrey Epstein was started by Bill Barr's father that introduced Epstein. So now Bill Barr's the only guy that says, oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. There ain't nobody on this planet that believes that.
True. Are there any other conspiracies you want to tell people about that maybe we don't know about? Any other? It seems like you've got the gambit. It's amazing to me you don't believe in global warming. That is impressive. I don't know I've never met anybody who doesn't.
Again, what did I say? I lived with scientists 3 years. Look up Maurice Strong.
Okay.
Strong. Listen what he had to say about how they could take this movement and make it a political movement. Again, look, one volcano will spew out more CO2 than mankind has produced since the beginning of time. So see that big green thing up there, that big plant? That breathes in CO2.
I'm familiar with science.
Thank you. So it's a reciprocal gas.
Right.
So and how much, if you're familiar with it, how much CO2 is in the environment?
Okay. Well, I'm very grateful for your time and to hear more about what you're doing. Do you think are you have a very positive reception here?
Oh, yeah.
People love it.
Are you kidding me? In this liberal cesspool, I still get over 90% positive.
You think that he's going to win again?
In a landslide.
Landslide.
Collectively, the opposition doesn't have the IQ of room temperature. Who's going to run against him? Who? Bloomberg, another billionaire? That's what? I mean, here's the liberals talking about, oh yeah, we're 8 billionaires, and you can put up a billionaire to go ahead and run it. That's all.
Well, no one put him
that's
up.
trying
He
to
put himself up.
Yeah, that's trying to buy the presidency. He's going to do it. Who? Bernie Sanders, the socialist? Come on, please. Are you giving me get out of here, Buttigieg? Get out of here. Come on.
Why? Because he's gay or because he's short?
Because one, he's a CIA asset. Look at where he was born, where he comes from. He's a complete CIA cardboard. And plus, I mean, the fact that he's gay, I mean, I'm sorry, not many men are going to vote for him. I don't give a damn what you say.
Fair.
Matter of fact, not many women are going to vote. Women want a man. They don't want a gay guy. And how the hell is he going to negotiate with the Saudis?
Well, it's not like Trump's done such a great job with the Saudis either, but okay. I learned a lot. I'm very grateful for your time, and your illustrations are really interesting. They really, I'm learning.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope you have a very successful new Mardi Gras.
Thank you very much. Yourself too, and I hope you investigate some of the things I've said. It's not very popular with the establishment, with the media, with what I'm saying.
I can see why you're saying some pretty incendiary things.
Well,
but
it'll put them out of work and make them look like fools.
Right.
I mean, nobody wants to be made a fool of.
Right. What's your actual? You have a real job? Is this your job?
Yeah, this is
full time.
Yeah,
full time Trump supporter. And you sell these. You sell the cartoons.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, I was doing this before Trump. I'm a political satirical cartoonist. I come out here and get political commentary.
Would you like to buy those wristbands? You sure can.
I come out here and get political commentary from people.
Got it. Trump fan?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. He's going to win this year?
Oh, definitely.
Landslide. All right. May I take a short? May I take a photo of you?
Oh, sure.
Okay, hold on one second.
Wouldn't be the first photo I've had taken of me today.
Just say hi from New Orleans if you could.
Hi from New Orleans.
And could you tell people what we're doing here?
Badass Uncle Sam with NPR.
I might get a hat. Thank you so much.
All right.
Really.
What is your name?
Card? I'm Zoe.
Zoe.
Do you have an actual card?
Yes, I do.
I have the yellow one.
All right. Well, on the back is my information. I have a YouTube channel with over 1,600 videos.
Cool. 1,600?
Yeah.
You know what? If you could tell me can you tell me that Trump's going to win again? I'm going to send this back. This is for my mother.
Yeah.
She doesn't think so. So tell me who's going to win this election.
Trump in a landslide.
There's no competition?
No.
All right. Thank you so much. I believe you. I don't disagree. That was not, I totally believe you.
Have you ever been to one of his rallies?
I haven't.
No.
Oh yeah? Good time?
It's just a good time. It's
Like,
the people. It's,
very inspired.
yeah. I mean, you're going to see, there was, as a matter of fact, was it what?
Do you get people who are angry at you?
Of course.
Right. So you must.
Of course. I mean, a matter of fact, if there's anything that's going on, the left, and there's a difference between the left and liberals. Liberals are, tolerant and they want free speech. Liberal. Right. But the left has taken over liberalism. That's why you've got the Homars in there and the
extreme.
Intolerant ones that are in there right now.
Right. Would you do me a favor and would you take a picture of us? I'm calm, let's do it together. Do you want to be Hillary or?
Oh, well, I'll stay next to you. I don't want to taint you. That's.
Does he look? Yeah, I think I got it. Thank you so much. It's going to be an interesting year. It's really getting heated,
yes.
huh?
Oh God, yes. It's as it gets closer, I've noticed an uptick in the fever.
Sure.
Because you've heard of Barney bots and how violent they've been getting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that shot Scalise for crying out loud, and tried to kill him.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was a Bernie supporter that shot Scalise. So
I think people are really hurting, left, right, center. I think it's just a lot of fear and a lot of hurt.
Well, again, I think understand that we're being programmed. It's a psychological warfare. So we're being programmed. They know, they've got this down to a fine science. I was in marketing and sales for a long time, and if you're in that, if you're doing that, you find out, you can become a drugstore psychologist real quickly.
I bet.
Because you find out what the hot buttons are, what motivates people.
Sure.
Fear motivates a great deal of people. So, the powers that be, I mean, one of the things that really scared me, Parsa gave this information to Trump a year ago. Yeah. This right here is about, tied in with this.
Right.
How the Wi-Fi connects to our computers, the coming technology is going to be able to home in directly to our individual brain waves.
Cool.
And connect directly into our brains.
Fancy.
So now we won't even be able to think for ourselves anymore.
Okay, so we're going to be turning. We are the robots.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Turing candidates.
Thank you. This stuff is as real as death, and this is the stuff we have to fight against. This is the stuff we need to get.
If you haven't looked up MK Ultra, research it.
MK Ultra.
Yeah, MK Ultra.
Controlled by the CIA.
Clinton actually apologized for MK Ultra, and they made a movie out of it. And the Manchurian Candidate, of course, is a movie that was real. It's about mind control. You would be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous to believe that the powers that be have them trying to control our minds since the beginning of time.
But what did you do before you did this? When did you start doing this?
I worked for I did a lot of different things. I said I was in marketing sales, but I worked for a political satirical rag here called the New Orleans Levy.
Oh, so you're a New Orleans person?
Yeah.
You're born, okay, got it.
Yeah, well, I've been here long enough to get this tick.
Oh, interesting. Does that come from being in New Orleans?
Indeed.
Yeah, really?
Absolutely. So hang out here long enough, you'll get it.
You get a tick? Cool.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't take much. But I was their political satirical cartoonist, writer.
Fun. That's a good job.
And so, one day I took my stuff out to the street just to see what the reaction would be.
People loved it.
I said, oh, this is golden. Because to me, if you're going to fight a revolution, it's on the street. This is where it is.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to go listen to a radio program, go to NPR because you like NPR.
Yeah.
Go to, InfoWars because you're an InfoWars listener.
Right.
But if you're on the street, it's open warfare out there. You never know who you're going to walk into. And this is the front line.
I love it.
And in any war, if you don't control the street, you don't control anything.
Wise men. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys. It's been a really good.
I wish I was 100 years younger, darling. You'd be in a lot of trouble.
Thank you.
So Zoe was a lot of fun to look at, wasn't she? Yeah, I'm telling you. Smart, moxie, sassy. If only I was a younger man. At any rate, that's it. You like what I do, go hit all those buttons and stuff and contribute. Thank you very much for stopping by, and there's a lot more coming up, man. I'm telling you, I got some Mardi Gras weekend yes, you're going to see some hellacious videos in the next couple of days. There's some real winners in this one, I'm telling you. All right, folks, I'll see you soon. God bless you. See you on the streets. And remember, pray for me. I need it.